Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast, episode 98. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Good. It's been a week. Played a ton of Flesh and Blood. Excited to talk about it.
I'm glad you got to play. I was sad to miss yet another draft, this time for good reason. I had COVID.
Yeah.
No, well, I guess I still have COVID technically.
Yeah.
But I'm on the mend, on the other side of it. It was a terrible 4 days. Don't recommend it.
Yeah.
0 out of 5. Yeah. Don't do again.
Yeah. I tried it 3 times.
Yeah.
None of the times were great.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 days seems pretty fast. So I'm happy about that.
That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, but yeah, that was rotten. Not fun at all. Don't recommend.
No.
But sorry I missed draft.
It's okay. It's okay. It was fun. Heavy hitters have hit Pittsburgh early. So
what's that mean?
Going to be talking about that. Heavy hitters, the new Flesh and Blood set.
What do you mean? How's that hit Pittsburgh early?
Guardian and Brute.
Oh, I thought you were saying that the cards got there or something. They got like an early
heavy hitters.
I was so excited. I was like, what?
You like that little wordplay?
Yes, that was good wordplay. It scared me, though.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Who got the cards? How come? How do I get them? Cool.
Yeah, we don't even have all the cards yet.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a couple of them.
Yeah, totally true. Definitely showing up in the meta. It looks like it's their predictive analytics have proven correct, and the meta has shifted towards the big hitters. So they'll get even more spicy in the next set, I imagine. Sounds fun.
No Dory in the top 8, though.
No Dory. It was actually surprising. Do we want to just jump into this topic, or do you want to talk about anything else first?
We can talk about this first.
Yeah, surprising meta. So you got the Reinars and the Bravos, right? They showed up in spades. They were also pretty high in the meta count, the number that showed up to the tournament. So that's like the meta has shifted, and it is predicted, right, that it will be heavy hitters, like you said. Dash.io, as we said last week, was a one-hit wonder. There was one in the top 8, but there's quite a few that showed up, and I have a feeling it's harder to play than it originally looked like, and that it was the surprise. You know, people just didn't know what to do with it, and that's why they went 12-0 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like that will be long for this world. It'll still be there, obviously, but it will probably slowly disappear. Icelander got in there. Yeah. Right, and Dromai got in there, but Dromai had a lot showing up and not a lot at the top, just one. Let's see how many it was up there. I think she was in the top 3 in the number of that were actually registered to play. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Yeah, she was the second place, had 16. Icelander had 13, and only 1 made it there. So I have a feeling I'm going to get to play Icelander for a while.
You think she's going to stick around a while?
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling she's not going to win these. I just have a feeling she's not going to be able to hold out against things like Bravos.
But how many points does she need? She may just go out quietly during a road.
It is possible. Yeah, it is. You're right. She could just sneak a few wins in on small things. She needs like 100 points, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 80 or something. But the reality is, like, I don't know. She doesn't hold up against someone like Bravo, who's plenty of 3 resource cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Reinar's kind of in a similar boat, although I don't know what this Reinar is. I'm very curious to see these deck lists. But Reinar tends to have extra resources too. So I don't think she hurts her too much. And then Dromai crushes. Well, I guess Dromai is favored in Icelander, not always crushes, as we've seen in some of the Pro Tour matches or whatever. But I just don't think she's favored into this, which is fine by me. So anyways, we'll see what happens. Maybe she sneaks out. It's possible. Week by week, we'll find out.
Yeah. Now that it's week by week.
Yeah. That's the new thing.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. It is a little bit like, can I bring this week sort of thing. So let's chat a little bit. Our Discord has been going back and forth on this pretty heavily. Somewhat aggressively. I think people are very upset or very for it, and it's it's a conversation point. I imagine many Discords are going through the same thing. But week by week, not knowing if you can bring your deck or if you need to make a new deck, I get that being frustrating.
Especially if you travel to events.
Yeah, especially if you have to travel a long way because your events are, But I feel like it's not that hard to look it up. you know?
And you're also making a cognitive decision to choose to play that hero.
True. You could always just switch early.
Right. Like, I would never have a problem with it because I play Dory.
Yeah.
And I know Dory's not going to LL.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Icelander that's close.
Yeah.
So it's only Icelander that needs to be upset.
And the only complaints and the only people fighting against it that I hear all play Icelander.
Oh, is it? No.
Yeah.
Well, then that's just bias.
They play other decks too, but then I'm also like, all right, but you also play another deck that you can
play. I mean, I play Icelander and I don't care. I also don't show up that often.
Right, exactly.
But I still don't care.
You may have played your last Icelander game and you don't even know it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was a fun set of games. That was that free play we did. That was fun. I had a good time.
Well, you could always show up with Icelander at free play. Who's going to tell you no?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing I was saying. I think someone like yelled at me in our Discord about this because I was like, it might have been our Discord or maybe it was Reddit. I can't remember. Wherever it was, I was like, I don't see it as a big deal. Like, there's no rules against a thing where you can free play at your shop or do something or just sidebar. Like, just play on the side.
Yeah.
Show up to your day and be like, anyone want to just play? I want to play Icelander. Anyone okay? Just playing Ice. Like, people are very friendly in this community. They will probably say yes. You will probably get a match or two. You know, like, I don't see what the problem is, especially if there's like a buy for the thing. You just play the buy person. You know what I mean?
I guess it LLs on Talishar, and that's enforced.
Okay. Whatever. There's free play in that too.
True. I guess you just don't really. Maybe it's hard to get a game there. I've never really tried.
Yeah, it probably would be harder. Yeah, the open format. Open format is where I usually queue, anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it will be that hard, but anyways, point being, yes, it's a sad thing. Yes, you have to pay attention week by week, which I feel like a lot of players already do.
Yeah.
Maybe you get caught off guard. Maybe it pisses off a brand new player that doesn't, hasn't fully invested or understood the systems and stuff, which I get that. Like, LL is a new thing and not knowing about it is, it could be a surprise. I remember when I first started, I got the chain blitz deck and I was mad when I found out it was illegal. To be fair, like I was a new player that got caught by a band that I didn't realize existed.
Yeah.
And the chain blitz deck that you could get off the shelf was not legal. And I was like, well, that's lame. I just bought this product and it's not even playable.
Yep.
And I was upset by that. So I could see some of that will happen, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. There's so many heroes,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my kind of the other counter argument is there's 15 new heroes coming next year.
Yeah.
And then
we have 17 after Icelander's out that are, nope, sorry. 17, 18, 19, 20 current heroes after Icelander goes.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if you can't figure it out with 35 heroes to choose from.
Well, so, okay, here's the other devil's advocate view, right?
Sure, yeah.
Icelander plays the gameplay that I like playing.
Fair. That is a thing. Because once she's gone, there is nothing quite like her.
Yes.
That is
so,
fair.
Yes, there are more heroes, but not that play style is now gone.
Yeah, it's completely because the wizards don't play like anything else, and Kano doesn't play anything like Icelander.
Right.
Who's
to say we don't go back to Arya soon? It's been a while.
Well, and people were saying Dash is just Kano, so I haven't tried it myself, so I'm curious if there's a way to Dash Icelander style or something. You know what I mean? Like a more disruptive Dash IO.
Oh, Dash IO is just okay.
Yeah, Dash. Everyone was saying Dash is because it's off the top.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't know if I agree with that, but I've heard that said.
Our Kano player disagrees.
Again, it's something that was widely said. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no opinion. No dog in that hunt. It's just a thing to get used to.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, and who's to say they don't change it again?
It's true.
They can always just say they get too much pushback that, heroes are now LLing too fast. All right, slow it down.
I don't even think that will be a factor. I mean, after Icelander goes, we are like hundreds of points from the next hero. Hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Dromai is only at 568. Dash Extraordinaire is at almost 700. Not that much more quickly.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. They up the point values per event. But you got to remember that some of those events are once a year.
Right.
Remember, the things they kicked
and that
up
can only
were
go
really
to
the big
one
ones.
hero.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be that much quicker. We'll see, though. We'll see. We'll have to see how it plays out. Because the big one's going to be the smaller stuff that did kick up. Was it the Battle Hardens went from 20 to 40, I think?
Yeah.
That's the big one because there's a lot of Battle Hardens. The other ones are like, national championships. They're like once a year, right? Pro Tour, I don't think went up. Worlds went up. I don't remember what all went up, but the small ones that went up from 2 to 4. The medium one that went up was Battle Harden. I think it was from 20 to 40. So that's probably the biggest impact because there's a lot of Battle Hardens. And then other than that, they're once a year, so it's not that big of a change.
Right.
So I think it won't be that big of an impact. So we'll see. We'll have to watch this next year and see how it goes. But 35 heroes by the end of next year, minus whatever ends up LLing.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine. It seems like there's a lot going on in this game and a lot of places to sink your teeth into and have fun.
Absolutely.
Just get into it.
But yeah, especially if you're a new player and just have only tried a couple heroes. Yeah, you found one early that you like, but that doesn't mean there aren't more out there that you will.
Yeah, and plus it's always evolving. Every set you get cards that change how the heroes work,
Mm-hmm.
I am excited to see how these Reinars are. I've been waiting for a good Reinar meta for a long time.
They're going to get more support.
They've gotten a lot of support. They only has 200 points. Yeah. So I could actually dive in now and commit to something.
Do it.
Right. This is me we're talking about.
It'll require you to show up, but you got it.
Yeah, right. We'll see.
Yeah, it's been fun. So I did get a draft. We did Bright Lights. I played Max again. Went 2-1 again. So feeling good on that. Very similar. Won against Dash.io and then had a close loss to Teklavasa, and it was 1-1 again down to the last couple cards, and then beat a Teklavasa. Turns out the cards that you can't block with equipment are really good in Teklo.
Yeah.
The boost cards.
Yeah.
Throw a couple at those, and just by the luck of what they have in their hand, sometimes you just can't do anything, and then that's 9 damage. And
ouch.
Yeah, split over a 5 and a 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really fun. I've drafted Max every time, but differently, prioritizing different sets of cards. Jumpstart. Is it Jumpstart?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jumpstart. Hell of a card. Originally came out in Dynasty, but if you're Max, you probably have a hyperdriver, and if you control a hyperdriver, Jumpstart costs 1 less to play.
Oh, right.
And it's a boost card, so you get the boost trigger to then make another hyperdriver. And so you're paying 1, and then getting a resource off the hyperdriver. So you have to pitch a card, but then you get the full resource pitch of that card back to then keep going with your turn, create the hyperdriver, which costs 2 because you filled the boost requirements for Max's ability, and you swung for 5 essentially for free.
Yeah, that is good. I mean,
you're down to 1 less card because you had to pitch, but you get that resource back.
Yeah.
And when you have 3 or 4 of those in your deck,
yeah, no, it's a killer.
Boy.
Yeah, for sure. So here's a question for you, because I know you're all Dory forever.
Yeah. Well, until we get adult Kasai and heavy hitters.
As I was going to say, okay, pretend that doesn't happen, whether it does or not. But
don't take this away from me.
Say she cycles out, would you play Max?
Temporary. It would depend on if I had to buy any cards.
Gotcha. Well, probably not, right? You've drafted enough times. I mean, I'm not sure how many special cards there are for Max.
$40 double boost card.
Oh, twin drivers.
Twin driver, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
There are a couple of those random majestics that I would need.
They're kind of pricey. Yeah, totally. And you need like 3 of them.
Yeah, I'd probably junk around with Bolton for a bit.
Oh, really?
I'd stay in the Warrior family.
Because you have all the stuff for it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I was curious if you'd switch to Max because you do seem to like the style.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I find Max is the style I like in the draft format. And what I like in the draft format and CC are different.
Yeah, for sure. It makes total sense.
Yeah. And it lets me play something different.
Surprisingly, Max got into the top 8 in the calling in Melbourne. Nice. I was surprised by that. Yeah, 5th place. So didn't win it, but got there, which is like, oh, okay, Max is a contender, right? You can play.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that I really like about this is it provides an opportunity for there to be wider metas.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think we will see that. There'll definitely be the top 3, but I think there will be a follow-on that could just sneak in.
Yeah. There are some problem child cards and people aren't happy with everyone. It will never be that everyone's happy.
Yeah,
you can't make everyone happy.
Impossible. In fact, if everyone's happy, you've already failed. Yeah, because that's a problem.
Well, I don't think it's even possible because some people will like that and some people won't.
Yeah.
Like, say you could create the perfectly balanced game. Some people may not like a perfectly balanced game.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the point. Like, if you ever got to a point where it was everyone's happy, it means no one cares. You know.
Yeah, that is a tough question. And we're bound to, if we don't get a Dulcasai, we're bound to get a warrior in heavy hitters, right?
Probably. It feels like a place for a warrior.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we know we're getting warrior, and it's draft. So there's going to be a warrior hero. It's whether it's Dory or whether it's, which I feel like it might not be.
Might not be who? What?
Dory.
Yeah. What would it be if it was Dory?
It could be a new Dory.
Yeah, like would they just reprint the same young Dory? I feel like that's not likely.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But they do have that art that indicates like Solana is represented at the arena there. They have I think it was Red Zone Rogue was going over, either him or DM Armada was looking at the art that came out with the first announcement, and they have the two, like, it looks like armies basically on the side. You know, it's a picture that has the giants in the background. On the right, there's one that definitely looks like Solana armor, and on the left, it looks like was it Drakai? What's that place? Volcor? Yeah, Volcor's armor, because they all have like the hair fins or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Solana will be represented, so that would be Dory. Kasai fits in that realm just from the dustiness of it all, but that doesn't. Well, she could be in the army with she could be in the army with the giants, because I feel like that's that like mercenary style. You know, it's got giants. It has humans. It probably has all sorts of. Yeah. It has Rhinar and stuff in it, probably.
Yeah, and it may be a warrior that. It may be a vanilla warrior, so non-talented, that acts a little bit more like Bolton. In which case, I will pass probably, because I really like the weapon combat gameplay, and the little teaser that we got with the 3 cards include Runner, which is a 2 in red, 2 cost, 6 attack, 3 block, which is just weird already because it's an attack card, but also is a popper, which is nice. So I could see it getting played.
Sure.
But
I think everything's going to be a popper in this set.
Yeah, that's the thing, is Warrior is going to get some natural more poppers, which has always been an issue, and why I really dislike the Illusionist matchup is because it forces you to play cards that are awkward.
Yeah.
Whereas if it forces you to play cards that are a little more flexible and with your gameplay, then the matchup becomes a lot more favorable. But then
you're saying Runner fits with your game plan?
A little more.
Doesn't?
It depends on it depends on what an agility token is.
I thought we found out what that was. Wasn't that Yeah, we did. At the start of your turn, destroy this. Then your next attack this turn gets go again.
Oh, okay.
So it's a attack.
It's like a quick.
When this attack, when this attacks, if it has go again, create an agility token. So it's basically allows you to buffer a go again.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool,
but not as flexible as Quicken, because it's at the start of your turn. Destroy this. Where Quicken you can use the same turn.
Oh.
And Quicken is when you play an attack.
You're right. Yep. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Destroy. Yeah, that's so it's not as good as a Quicken.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because you can, so say you block out.
You can trigger the Quicken and use that right then and keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then also you have to wait till your next turn to be able to use it.
I don't know, man.
The agility, whereas Quicken, and if you block out that whole turn, then you just lose its ability. Whereas Quicken will stay until you attack.
Until you use it, yeah. I guess it depends on what other cards there are.
Yeah, and what wager is. Because then there's also the pump, the double down. The next attack that wagers this turn gets +3 and overpower.
Oh, man. I just saw an update on Twitter. I may be wrong.
I mean,
Icelander may be out.
Oh yeah. Oh,
she hit the top 2 against Rose on Classic Dash.
Hey,
go Rose, go! Kill that Icelander.
Bring her down.
Battle hardened. Oh man, I wonder when that's gonna play. It's probably playing right now.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Yeah. So Icy still pulls it off. Well, I mean, this will take her to. I doubt it's updated yet.
It is over.
It is?
Yeah.
Do you think they updated the page yet?
I'll read the text. Congratulations to Joe Santiana for taking down Pittsburgh.
Oh no!
Icelander's gone.
Is she? No, I don't think she's gone from
almost.
There. Yeah, almost.
That's what, 40 points?
That was a battle harden, right? Yeah, that's 40 points. If it's not calculated in, then she's at 972. So that's pretty freaking close. That is one battle hardened away from being gone. Yeah, she'll be gone. Yeah. If it is calculated in, then she's got 68 points.
And how many Road to Nationals points? How many points is the Road to Nationals?
4. It's nothing.
So, but 10
but
of
yeah,
those.
Yeah, exactly. It's so those are so small that people will win with an Icelander.
And there are so many of them, and it only takes 10.
Yeah,
and it's updated on a weekly basis. So Icelander may rotate out mid.
Road to Nationals. She's almost certainly going to rotate out mid Road to National season. I would be shocked if she didn't. The only way that happens, Road to Nationals, it starts after Heavy Hitters.
No, it's soon.
Well, so is Heavy Hitters.
Heavy
Hitters is January.
Yeah.
Road to Nationals isn't before that, is it? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Skirmish season 8.
Well, Skirmish is usually not. Yeah, that's Blitz. So.
But there's the Iron Song versus playmat. Iron Song verse. I need that playmat.
So anyways, I think she will be out within the year, no doubt. Question is she out in the next 3 months, 6 months? I don't know. We'll find out. Dang it.
Reinhardt, we're playing
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like I said, as much as I'm sad about it, I'm not that sad about it.
Yeah. I did update my Dory deck.
Oh yeah? What'd you put in?
The Emboldened Blades.
You like that?
Hell of a card. Yeah, I have 2 now. I don't know if I'm going to play a third, but I'll get a third.
Now,
from you.
Question for all those out there aspiring to own and love a champion as fully as you own and love Dorinthia.
Yeah.
Did this upgrade come out of inspiration from a Discord or famous player, or did you just say, hey, I like that card and threw it in there and you're testing it and you like it, or how did that come about?
I honestly haven't really looked to see what people are doing. With like the Warmongers were in my deck, and they were in my deck for Lexi and Dromai, but our Lexi player doesn't show up anymore, and our Dromai player doesn't really show up as much as he used to. So, and defense reactions are very strong. So I'd rather have those. And the way I have my Dory deck built, and the way most people build their Dory deck, is there is a core set of cards.
Sure.
Of just good go-agains.
Yeah.
And good blues. And then the ratio of blues, where you need more blues than we have good go-again cards. And so there's room for some generic kind of tech cards that you swap in and out. And so I just took those slots, which had Warmongers, and then swapped them out for Emboldened Blades. And I think Emboldened Blades will be the default sideboard until I know what the new meta is. And then if I need these, they will probably be the first to come out if the meta deck doesn't play D-Reacts.
Right.
Because otherwise it's just a blue block 3.
Right.
Which most of the time in most games, that's what they all are anyways, so they're not that.
It's not very specifically tuned. It's just a situational.
But it's a very good tech card from our local meta in my deck.
Gotcha.
Because, gotcha. Bravo plays D-Reacts. Icelander, or a lot of the decks I play against play D-Reacts.
Right on.
And so now it can be, especially late in the game, when you know they have one and they're preparing for an attack reaction, and just knowing what that arsenal card is, whether it's a D-React or not, just allows you as Dory to open up and
play around it.
Yeah,
totally.
Play around that knowledge.
That makes totally sense.
Because it's especially helpful because when they say you swing for 3, right? And then they pull out that Sink Below from Arsenal. You have a red Iron Song response in your hand to take it to 6. But you can't use that because they defended from Arsenal, not from their hand. So Reprise doesn't trigger. So you may do things a little differently if you know that they can defend from Arsenal or not. Because even if they block 3 from hand, or 4 from hand, that's fine. You can still get to 6.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's information gathering, especially late in a game where it can be game ending. Because it's never actually it's not usually played, but it's not a bad arsenal card either. Because then you can start off the turn by finding out what their arsenal is and potentially blowing it up.
Right.
Or if you're playing against Kano, want to see if they have the wildfire.
Yeah,
it doesn't blow it up, but you know it's there.
Yeah. You know what's going on.
And maybe you decide to throw those Command and Conquers instead of blocking.
Funny that you think about playing against Kano. No one else in the world does. Just kidding.
I very much do, because we got together.
I know.
A group of us got together yesterday, jammed some games. My friend Ben was in town. So some friends came over and we had Kano going. We had Icelander. We had Bolton, my Dorinthia, and Vincent. And Fi. And it was a ton of fun.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah. And then we did some crack shuffle.
Who was on Vincent?
Ben. Ben had Vincent and Icelander.
Fun.
Yeah. I figured out that matchup. It's just fatigue.
What?
It's throw your whole,
Vincent?
Yeah. It's throw your whole sideboard in and fatigue.
Yeah, because she's down a card. She's basically like
but she gets to attack with those cards.
Yeah, but yeah. But it's a resource missing. It's a painful. It's a disadvantage.
It is.
You can play around it a little bit, and again, like you discovered, if you force their hand, they get fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's like slightly worse than what's the robot? Data Doll. Data Doll is just bad, obviously.
Yeah.
She's 3.5 cards. Yeah. 3 and an exception. But Jesus, yeah, she's rough.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll get there someday, but I don't know.
Yeah. They'll probably come out with a new date at all. I wonder who the last hero of the first 3 sets is going to be to LL.
First 3 sets. Do you think it will be Viserai?
Viserai already. Oh, CC.
No, he's at 500, so probably not. Bravo's on the up. Maybe Katsu? Could be Dorinthia, honestly.
Yeah.
Azalea and Reinar are below Dorinthia, but
they come out with a better Dorinthia.
I feel like Reinar is going to be on the rise and Azalea is going to be on the rise post Lexi, right?
Yeah. Bullseye back.
You know what it is? It's going to be Kano.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We don't even have to think about that. We know the answer to that.
It's Kano.
It's Kano.
They're not getting it. He's not getting it.
No, they refuse to give Kano real love because it's too dangerous.
Yeah. Just make him LL real quick in 1 season.
Well, I think that's what that arcane set they're doing. I think that's the intention, is to just kind of wipe the board of wizards and reset it with new wizards.
Yeah, that makes sense. Break Kano for a little bit, let him get LL, and then
get him out, and then have a different way to do wizards that's a little easier to work with going forward.
Kano his time.
Yeah. Poor Kano.
Yeah, we got a bunch of games and they were all really good. It was a ton of fun. We jammed games.
Yeah, I love those. Day. I love that. I love that casual, like, bring a bunch of decks, let's just freaking play games until people are done and don't worry about it, you know?
Yeah. Killed an entire bag of fruit snacks, giant bowl of chips, had a couple of beers. It was fun. It was nice.
It's awesome. Yeah, wish I could have made that. That would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, there'll be more. There'll be another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's my preferred way of playing Flesh and Blood. Like,
that's been my favorite since the beginning.
Armories are fine. It's like hanging out with friends with a little bit of structure.
Yep.
And then, but just throwing cards on the dining room table. It's fun.
I mean, I've done Airbnb Fab Days multiple times now. Yeah, that is definitely my favorite way to play.
Because you don't have to take it so serious. You can be like, think out your turns. And be like,
and you can even work with people on it. Be like, is this the right move or should I go the other way? And like have a conversation instead of like, I mean, I get the idea of being competitive and being max.
That's what we were all doing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite. That's my favorite because then it's a lot more casual and it's a lot more exploratory, which is actually my favorite part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So, well, that will be fun to get back into. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Heavy Hitters is going to bring me back into the fold. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. The Reinar I played against was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I am curious. I can't wait to see these decks for Reinar. Yeah. They're not posted yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what Reinar's up to these days. It's got to be fun.
Probably not too different.
Nah,
I guess you got some cards in Dust Till Dawn.
Yeah, there's a lot. There have been a number of ways to play him.
Yeah.
For a while now. So yeah, it's just a question of what ends up sticking.
Right.
From Dust Till Dawn and into the current meta, that's the real question. It's the environment, not the deck. You know, it's like what fits best into the environment.
Yeah, and it'll shake up with Heavy Hitters for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It seems like with the preview cards, it just kind of seems like they're getting away for where Reinar's swinging multiple times and it's not as weapons.
What do you mean?
Like the multiple action points without having to use scab skins.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Like with the agility token.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So swing one, set up for the next turn, kind of like a max style where it's go first, set up your hyperdriver. Now that activates all your hyperdriver cards, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like that kind of visual tempo cue of, all right, I have some setup for the next turn. You know what I mean? It's kind of like what having an arsenal card used to be. Now it's more visual with having these tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Like I noticed that with the courage token. That's the other card that I put in that I think it was Dusk Till Dawn, the Dory specialization that you block with it in another card in Unity, and you get a courage token.
All right.
Very good in long fatigue games. Because then your one token, you block with 2 cards, and then you have your go again, and then you're swinging for 7 on hit go again with the Warrior's Valor, and instead of 6 with that courage. So you block with 2 cards, keep your red pump, go again on hit, and then pitch the blue, and then it's a 7 on hit, and if it hits, I'm swinging again.
I think I understand. That's a lot of things happening.
7's harder to block than 6.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, by a lot.
And Puncture came into play multiple times this weekend, which is surprising because it doesn't usually.
And that's minus to armor?
It's +1 to your attack if it's defended by armor.
Right, okay, yeah. Gotcha.
So the +3 becomes +4. So you perfectly block with an equipment piece, and then now you're down 1. Or there's 1 more up. But
yeah, it's a good forced removal there.
Yeah, because most people play around the +3 pump from Iron Song Response or Out for Blood or all the other 3 attack reactions. And also that +1 from Singing Steelblade also makes a difference. Because that can be a +4 if you go get an Iron Song Response.
Yeah, that card's bullshit.
It's so good. It's so good.
It is very good.
When people were going through my discard like mid games, they're like, all right, how many Singings? How many Blades? How many Red Iron Songs?
What have you done? What is yet to destroy me?
Yeah. Yeah. There was one turn where they laid down their whole hand, blocked 12, and I got over it and kept my counters. After presenting a naked 3.
It's just messed up.
Naked 3, 1 in Arsenal, floating 2 with a Tunic and an E-Pot. And yeah, the E-Pots, I guess, I don't know.
I was about to say, that's new, right? Yeah, you haven't played that before.
Yeah, I run 2 E-Pots.
Yeah, makes sense.
One game I got both of them out. Where
And
I was just blocking E-Pot. It was 2 turns back to back. It was like block with 3 cards, E-Pot. Block with 3 cards, E-Pot. So I had taken 0 damage and now had 2 E-Pots and a Tunic counter and was able to keep 3 cards that turn. And only took like 4 damage and then was able to come back for like something stupid. Because I was able to just go get like overpower and stupid stuff. It was fun.
Gross. Gross.
You always want to be able to at least just swing to try and keep your counters. Or apply some pressure. But especially when it gets to when 3 is a lethal swing.
Yeah, I mean that's that pivot point.
Yeah.
Or pressure point, I guess, is more realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good weekend of Fab. Good week of Fab. Really looking forward to heavy hitters and seeing what's coming.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be pushing
a giant. What if we get a giant warrior?
Probably pass.
Not going to play a giant warrior?
No.
Can only play cards that swing for 6 or more.
It'll probably be like what they wanted Axe Story to be. That new Axe.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I was rebuilding my deck and ended up only changing a couple cards. But it's so funny how many cards are Dory specializations.
There's a lot.
So that's the thing is like you play any other warrior, you lose a lot of what that deck is.
Yeah, because they don't love anyone else. Certainly don't love Bolton.
No. Well, he has a ton of specializations too.
He does. I think Warriors have the most. Didn't we look it up?
It
was Viscerai. It was Viscerai and the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Had the most.
Yeah, it's fun.
I feel like Viscerais are mostly crap, though. Dories are like very, very good, and Bolton is just weaker because of charging.
Yeah. So here's a question. Do you think maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who might pop up to take. I guess it's going to be with Lexi and Icelander gone. I wonder if anything changes when Icelander goes.
Might get some ninjas in there. Something that uses low, like, red line sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Low resource. Maybe a different version of the not Azuri, but like the assassins or whatever there was red line versions, but they were just held back. What was that? There was a red line deck that came out not that long ago that was interesting, but then everyone was like, yeah, but Lexi and Icelander. What was that? I know I played around with it, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, any of that stuff will come up now that Ice is out of the picture.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason not to play red line if you can.
Right. Yeah, I mean, now's the time before more Ice comes back.
Yeah, once she's out, there's literally nothing stopping it, so you'll see a lot of that pop back up.
Yeah.
It might actually make some of these other decks like annoyed, because how do you deal with 4 attacks on you and no blocks? Like Reinhardt's great, except if you have to block, and then you can't use your cards because you have to use all your cards because you have to discard a card to, you know what I mean? All that stuff. I don't know. It might actually change it back to that old school redliner sort of situation. Then what? Viscerai is pretty good at that point.
Yeah, this is looking good. Maybe Vincent looks good too.
I don't know. A lot of those cards were 2 costs.
Yeah.
The Rune Gate.
Sure, but you're not paying the cost.
Because
you have the rune chance.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm thinking, yeah, you're right.
So it's still kind of 0, even though they are. If that makes sense. You build
it up 0 or 1. So yeah, it does still work with a red line structure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it could be Vincent. You're right. I still don't think so. I think I have a bad taste in my mouth from Vincent. I liked her a lot at first, and then when I played her, I was like, no, this is garbage. And maybe I'm a little over exaggerating on that, a little too biased against her.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be fun.
I mean, it continues to evolve quite well. I'm shocked well, I guess I'm not that shocked, but I'm continually pleased with the modification changes and what goes on.
Yeah.
On to other topics.
Sure.
Real quick note, Twitter is completely slammed with dinosaurs. So the card space Twitter is insane with dinosaur costumes. I guess Ixalan was this week. I don't pay close attention to Magic, but when there's 40 out of 50 posts that I see are dinosaur costumes at a LGS, I noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's what it is. It's Ixalan release week, and dinosaurs are hip. Everyone likes that Jurassic Park.
I mean, I guess I haven't really. It's not, dinosaurs aren't my thing.
I mean, I love dinosaurs, but yeah, I didn't really pay attention to this either. I mean, it's cool that they did a dinosaur set, but I don't know. That's not what I look to Magic for.
No. I'm just all universes beyond.
It's not universe. Oh, that's all you care about is universes beyond?
Yeah. No, it's not. But
yeah, I was just saying, I'm confused by that. So you like Jurassic Park then?
No,
because that's universes beyond, right?
The universes beyond properties that I care about.
Specific things, specific IPs.
Yeah. I don't know. Normal sets aren't. I don't know. Dinosaur Ixalan, not my.
You're just not into Magic.
Yeah, it's true.
Till Lord of the Rings comes back again.
Yeah, with another draft set. Then I'll play it. I don't know. I was even looking like Final Fantasy, meh.
Yeah. Fallout,
meh.
Yeah.
What are the other ones? Oh, the Marvel one. I will.
Yeah.
I hope there's a draft of that.
We shall see.
I could see it just be Commander decks and collector.
Yeah. Magic's fine. Whatever.
It's a big enough IP though. I could see them doing draft.
With Marvel, yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Get people to come into stores for it.
It's definitely bigger than Assassin's Creed. Definitely bigger than Doctor Who.
If stores are still around by the time that comes out,
I think they will be. We'll see. I think the play thing kind of reverses the killing all the stores stuff. I don't know. We'll see. That's so hard to predict.
Yeah,
it seems very back and forth day to day whether they're trying to support LGSs or not.
Yeah, there's been a lot of articles going around in the comic world about how bad things are there
for comics
stores. Yeah.
Why? What's going on in
really
comics?
Struggling. Marvel and DC just keep pushing out these books that they just keep pushing up the price of books. Like they say that every book they had this whole campaign of draw the line at $2.99. Like it's gonna be $2.99 is the most expensive book that DC had, and at the time Marvel was $3.99, and then it jumped up. Then DC jumped to $3.99, and then now they have longer format books that are $4.99, longer books that are $7.99, $8.99, $9.99, and then they're different sizes, and you need different bags and boards, and it's my time to stop collecting.
Greedflation.
Yeah. And it's one of those times, it's one of those things where they're making it super easy to stop collecting too, because for, I think it's $80 a year, you can get unlimited access to either Marvel, and then I think it's $80 a year for Marvel, and then $100 for DC. But DC you get a month behind, and Marvel you get 3 months behind anything. So you can just read whatever and binge it.
Yeah. If you're there for the story, you have an answer. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're there for the story, you have an answer. If you're there for the collectibles, then you're paying way more than you were.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I almost broke my house with comics, so here's my sign.
You're thinking a little bit more seriously about it.
Yeah, but so I mean, when big books come out and I'm excited about it, I'll go grab like a variant cover or something, but no need to just grab everything.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Which is then pushing people out of comic book stores, which then makes it hard for comic.
Well, yeah, then the stores struggle. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we're seeing across the board. These, publishers, producers, whatever, just greedflation situation has been taken to a new level, and as a result, it's pushing people out, and stores have to adjust, and they're having a hard time with it. So, yeah. The business cycle at work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like there's that much. And then just the business practices for comic book stores too are rough. Like you can't just send it back. Whatever doesn't sell.
Oh yeah, no, you're stuck with it. Yeah, and you probably have to pre-order it and pay in advance, right?
Like 2 or 3 months in advance, so you have
exactly.
No idea what
so you're
ordering.
On the hook with capital out of pocket. Yeah, absolutely understood. Understood. Yeah, it's a very difficult situation to work
and
with.
Guessing, and when they throw in these random like first appearances, and then it goes off the shelf, and then it's just gone, and then you have customers mad that you didn't order enough, but that book didn't sell at all, and then so maybe you order more of the next one, and then that doesn't sell at all, and it's a guessing game.
Yep. Now you're screwed.
Yeah.
Tough world. One last thing before we wrap this up. Sorcery Beta came out on Friday. Woo!
Yeah. Exciting stuff.
A lot of our local Fab players and friends are picking up Beta and looking for a little bit of a casual game to play. So excited to give that a shot. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. One of our friends who hasn't played Fab in a long time pulled a box, and ripped the most valuable cards, foil, Philosopher's Stone, and I think it was the Air Core, in one box. Insane. 10x his money. I can't believe it. That's just nuts. Those boxes are crazy.
Yeah. It's neat. I'll play it.
Yeah.
I just won't. I don't think I'm going to collect it.
Yeah, you don't need to collect it. It's definitely one of those you can just buy a deck, and because the variety of games with one deck, you really don't need, as long as you're okay with that style and the way it plays and the general concept, like you don't need to have a ton of cards. That's the thing. He reached out, the guy who got those cards, he reached out not knowing what the value was on those. And he was just like, this is before you get this, is it worth it? Should I get it? And other people were kind of getting hyped and like, oh, these cards look amazing and and whatever. And I was like, well, don't get it for financial purposes. Like, get it if you want to play it. It's a very fun, very casual, very like tabletop game. And he's like, how do you even play sealed and stuff? I was like, I don't even think they have official rules. In the rule book, it's like, just make the rules as you go if you have to.
Yeah.
Like they're like, here, we have a bunch of guidelines. It's pretty well written now. This version, it covers almost everything, but there's some things you're not going to know, and you just play, just have fun. Like when you were a kid, that's the whole style. I love that. And, so very casual, very different, very, I would say random base. Like you don't know what you're going to draw into. You definitely don't get through your whole deck. So you don't necessarily know what you're going to be playing with. So you have to react on your feet to what's in front of you, how the board has been shaped, what they have pulled, and played, and just deal with it. And which I think it's fun. It actually tests your abilities as a tactician versus, memorization or having a specifically powered deck. You know what I mean? You can get as powerful a deck as you can, and you can still lose because you might not be able to react to a situation that pops up or something just counters one of your game plans or whatever. So purely. So it's a lot of fun. I like that. I like the replayability of it without it being the same, like just grinding, Oh,
absolutely.
So, but we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. I don't expect it to be like a financial masterpiece, although stuff is still valuable right now. But I don't look at it like that. For me, I look at it as a fun game to play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Fun, casual game. Worth it. So I'll be opening a box beta. I'll put it up this week sometime.
Sweet. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. Maybe I'll pull all those fancy things like he did. I don't think so. My luck is not that good. He tends to have that kind of luck. He also pulled the Flesh and Blood Command and Conquer full art.
Yeah.
I'm this dude. I'm like, what the hell? He's almost as good as you with pulling every fable in the damn game.
I didn't pull that one.
I know. Yeah, you actually fell off after a while. I think I called it out too much. Your luck vanished.
Yeah. It's fine. I got the ones I wanted.
Yeah.
But I may need the one in heavy hitters. We'll see.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else before we wrap up this week?
No, that's all I got.
Cool. Well, until next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.